What is up, YouTube? We're back with a full guide video, another one of those form videos. I know it's been a while, and we're gonna talk about Rob Lucci because I think it's a really strong contender for a deck to play for One Piece Day, Dallas, or whatever upcoming competitive events you have. Now, Rob Lucci is a pretty tough deck. But, why should you play Lucci, and why do you think you could play Lucci? I used to be really bad at Lucci, and I think you can get better at Lucci too. And why do you want to play Lucci? Because Lucci's a consistent deck. You can play with the trash, and playing with the trash is like playing with another hand. Because essentially, you have a higher chance to see a lot of cards, because those cards come out of the trash because some of your units let cards come out of the trash, like Rebecca and Gecko Moria. Okay, so on top of that, it's going to teach you like the fundamentals of resource management and sequencing. So like if you struggle with fundamentals in One Piece, and you're trying to get better at the game, and you're trying to find out like what deck is yours, you probably just need to play a hard deck until you understand the fundamentals better, and then go back to whatever decks you want to play. Rob Lucci teaches you that. It teaches you how to work with your hand, it's how to view life as a resource and how to play control. Now, if you probably want to play Shanks and be brain dead and just run it down, yeah, okay, this video might not be for you. So probably go watch Flacco's video or some bullshit. But if you prefer, playing Lucci, you prefer playing control, it's a high agency deck, meaning it's very flexible. And there's lots of different turns, so I can't tell you how to play everything, but I can give you good guidelines on decision making. And if you want to do well in big tournaments, because I have, and I hope to do well again, I think Lucci's a good strong pick, and I can show you how. Now, the Lucci win condition is a little bit different than most win condition. I mean, the win condition of most games is obviously the lethal amount. But Lucci really kind of, it's able to do that by starving their opponent out of a board. So you need to focus on clearing their board out. You need to know their most crucial turns, their most crucial units, and if you get rid of those units, the game becomes a lot easier. So you got to keep this in mind. You can't just randomly start lethaling them if you have nothing to do. You got to set up for future turns. And I do have a VOD in here, and I will have more VODs, and we will go more in depth on this topic. But just keep this in mind when you play Lucci, especially when starting out. Okay, so a good Lucci plans, and that just means that you gotta predict what your opponent's gonna do. So you need to know their curve to an aspect. Obviously you can't know their exact curve, but you can know what their worst play is gonna for you is gonna look like. If they play Katakuri, is that gonna ruin your fucking board? So if they play Katakuri, what should I do? You gotta be thinking about these things so you know what to do, or what resources you need to clean up their board, and how you can better manage those resources. For example, oh, I need the Ice Age for the Katakuri, so maybe I should use the Suru plus my leader ability to clear this body rather than use the Ice Age because I want the Ice Age for later. That's just a basic decision tree that will help you a lot in Lucci, shit like that. That's resource management 101. Okay, so let's talk about the list, and the list is really fucking different for many players. We're gonna go through my list in the VOD review, but let's just talk about the cards in general and what cards I think are good in this meta and the package. So it's the CP package. So there's a lot of CP cards. Well, I feel these are the core cards that people are playing right now. These are the ones that I think are good. I obviously Spandam's core. You can never run less than 3 of this card. I feel Soap Sheep, really good into Dofi if you're struggling into Dofi, because if you combine that with the Lucci, it could KO 2/2 costs with leader ability. So really good card. Khalifa, just a 2k. Filters, great. Kaku's good in this meta, again, because it's Dofi. On that 5-down turn, it lets you KO a 3 cost. Now, I do think Who's Who is low-key, kind of better but Kaku can come up. I do not run Kaku in my current list, but Kaku can come up, so just keep in mind that. And people do play Kaku because of Dofi. Now, here are the friends, and the friends really make the deck come together. And we got Rebecca, we got Jack, Gecko Moria. I mean, these cards are just broken. And this is what makes the deck, my favorite deck. Because Rebecca lets you play with the trash and for these crazy combos with Gecko. And if you're not familiar with those combos, we'll go over them. But you should be familiar with them because if you played One Piece for a little bit, you're going to get someone doing this to you. I don't know if it's super common, but it was common in OP8. Especially when Jack first came out, Lucci was pretty dominant. Anyway, these are all the crucial cards. Rebecca brings stuff from the chat. Jack makes, Dofi easier and also is a really big boss monster in the mirror. So it's really important in black matchups. Maybe not into BY, but into other black matchups. Gecko Moria, don't really need to say much. I feel like that's always the go-to line in all my videos. Don't really need to say much about this guy. And he isn't as strong as he used to be, but, he's still fucking strong. Sabo, great. Unlucky Red has an answer to it. Ben Beckham now. Brook and Ice Age. Those are the other cards. Okay, so these are like the core shit. Like, I've never seen this not in a Lucci deck. But let's talk about all the cards that you can maybe add to increase your matchups into certain things. So we'll talk about when they see fit and like whatever. And these are just some of the tools. So this deck's really a toolbox deck because you can really kind of build it to whatever you want. So let's just say you're struggling into Blackbeard. Let's talk about the first gun, Shigun. Shigun's good into Blackbeard because it lets you KO a unit without having to do that on play. While I do think it's still not that good because, like, come on, bro. Like, what are you KOing? You can't KO a burger. It should be able to trash it, in my opinion, but it can't. So I really think Shigun's that great. But, Shigun could be good. It's good for killing Jack with an Ice Age. I think Jack with an Ice Age plus leader ability, you can kill it. It's good in that aspect. So you can play that if you want. That's a tool. It's okay. Kuzan. I see some people playing Kuzan, and Kuzan's not bad because it gives you that -4. It makes your opponent react to it and draws you a card. There's a lot of reasons to play Kuzan. There's a lot of reasons not to play Kuzan. And one of those reasons being that Law just puts it back in your hand, and that card you drew goes in your hand, and they just putting you. So, like that's one of the reasons, and just because I don't think it's going to help me in one of my best matchups, like Dofi, probably won't run Kuzan. Kuzan doesn't seem like a good card in the meta. However, if you're struggling into Bonnie, if you're struggling into slower decks, Kuzan, like with really big reduction, like honestly, I would like to say Shanks, but I don't think Shanks will let your Kuzan live. Then you should play Kuzan though into those matchups. Now let's go to Borsalino. Don't really have much testing with this card. However, it is an unKOable blocker. I played it a couple times. I think I played it like once when I topped, but like a one of. But I mean, not really much to say about this other than it is a blocker, and if you find out it works for you, you can throw it in. Like I by all means, like I played a list that I topped with 7 1-ofs. Like these cards will come up and they might work, and they probably will work. Okay, so Suru is in my list, and it's a 1-of, and it's like basically I like to think of it as an additional copy of Helmeppo. Some people don't run Helmeppo. I think it's a core card, and you can see in the bottom corner, because it's a -3, and it leads to a bunch of combos you can do with Lucci. So, I don't really see why you wouldn't play Helmeppo, but, some Eastern lists don't play Helmeppo. I tried no Helmeppo, or at least one Helmeppo, and I regretted it, and I definitely felt, I was able to top with the one Helmeppo list, and you can go look back on my Twitter once, but it did not feel nearly as easy, I'm not gonna lie. So, I threw in some other techs in there. You got Isho, also can help you into like NL and Bonnie, lower their hand size, it's kind of troll, catch people off guard. It's good into BY, So is Kaido. Kaido lets you trash. Kaido's really fucking good, honestly, because it gets rid of their Gecko, and and it can prevent them from Kuzan Sabo locking you, which is really fucking annoying. So I think Kaido's good, and honestly, I could see that card going into 2. But just because Teach is like so fucking awful right now, I honestly don't see Kaido going to like more than one. Hattori, yeah, I kind of just put this on the screen to troll, but like, yeah, you can technically play this, and I've played it before, and it works, and it comes up, and I guess it could help you go for lethal. Like, you get plus 2k to one of your fucking Rob Lucci's, so your leader are like a 4k, but I like, probably don't play this if, like, I don't know why I put this there. Just, it's part of the tools, though, if you want to use it. Brook, I don't know how I feel about this card. I used to run it. It still could be good. But I don't think it's good right now just because there's not a lot of BY. I mean, there is a lot of BY, but I'm already playing Nightmare Luffy, and I don't know. Brook just doesn't seem to fit into my game plan. But Brook can come up into a very BY meta, like prevalent meta. It's cheeky, like you can catch some people off guard. It also really good in the mirror because if they were like, oh, I'm gonna go Sabo on 5, or like Sabo on 5, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna just Brook you, and like that sets them super far behind. Nightmare Luffy. Yeah, so Nightmare Luffy is really crucial because of the BY matchup. So I expect the BY matchup because whenever I go into big tournaments, I end up going like 4-1 or 5-5-0 at the beginning, and then I go into this thing called like BY territory. It's just like fucking BYs everywhere. I don't know if it's like that now. Maybe it's like Dofi, and maybe I'll end up cutting Nightmare Luffy. I'm not sure, but this card is so good into Nightmare Luffy. Like, it literally just wins me the game every time. I beat my friend that's insane at Nightmare, like, insane at BY. He's pretty good at BY, like pretty much a serial on that shit. Multiple tops, and just been, like, it's just stupid how many times I've beat him because of this dumbass card. And this card's really good. It functions off the trash, which, keep in mind that when you're playing the BY, you can't really hit them. So you're going to have to play those Spandoms out, and that's why I think Spandom's really good. And you're going to have to build your trash out different ways, but eventually you'll be able to hit them. So, like once they, like, start buffing their leader. So, this Nightmare Luffy card, if you don't know what it does, it trashes a 2 cost or less. So you can get rid of a Sabo with an Ice Age or something like that. And then on top of that, if you bottom, 4 costs, for every 3 4 costs you bottom, you get a 1k buff. So to, like, wall attacking. So you could swing for like a shit ton, like maybe like 10k or 9k or 12k, and that's another swing into BY, and that could be that lethal swing you needed. So that's why I play that card. Stussy. I don't know like why you'd play this card. Maybe like if for like a really like heavy Bonnie, like a meta that like relied heavily on 10-drop cards. It's an easy way to clear it with like a Spandom or some shit. It's not gonna teach. It's an on-play. So I honestly think this card's obsolete. Probably never play it. Honestly, it looks cool though. So maybe if you have the alt, throw it in. Because sometimes I be doing that. Like I'm pretty sure that top player Brook I should not have played that in a regional, but I ended up playing it because it just looked really cool. I don't know. So yeah, that's the toolbox part of the video. And now let's go into the second part, which is a good Lucci plans or whatever the fuck. Which is actually so like pretty much what I said is build your deck around what you expect. Don't just paste any Lucci list you see. I mean, there's obviously some core cards. You can't like fucking cut Gecko at a 2 or some bullshit. But a good way to like find good lists, and the way I do it is I'll go to Limitless and look at lists from like the most recent regionals, and then I'll look at the distribution of leaders in the tournament, and that gives me a good idea of what they were playing into. And then if I think like, okay, well, I'm playing another Treasure Cup and like that's probably going to be a similar distribution, I'll look at lists that did good and I'll be like, okay, like what cards are they running? Do I like this card? Is this card I want to put in my list? It's just like those basic questions that like help you cater your list to your needs. Anyway, well, let's talk about the first and second curve, especially if you're new to this deck and you have no idea what the fuck is going on. So let's get started. Let's talk about the first curve. On Dawn 1, you're going to want to play Spandom or Tempest Kick, okay? Probably never play the Tempest Kick unless you're into a matchup like BY, where it's like pretty much useless, especially in the early game. And then there's also, like, there are certain cases you don't play Spandom, like if you want to kill a Basil Hawkins with a Bonnie, because if you play this Phantom out there and then you try to do your little bullshit with like a Brook on board or a Nightmare Luffy on board, they're just gonna rest Phantom. So that's a little tip. But you know, this is Dawn 1's pretty simple. Dawn 3, you can most of the time I'm just swinging 8. Sometimes I'll play the Brook out. If it's in the Dofi, I'll definitely play the Brook out. Get rid of their 1 cost so they can't bounce anything back. But not really too much you can do here other than that, or play another Spandom or Tempest Kick. Now, when Dawn 5 comes around, this is like the time where you gotta ask yourself, do they have a threat on the board, and is it worth getting rid of? And usually, the most cases, it is, because it's not that hard. So in this case, I'd probably go for probably not like Ice Age Lucci, unless it's like a fucking beater Luffy from BY or some bullshit, like some really threatening thing that like you need to get rid of. Like, I mean, it couldn't be Beater Luffy because it'd be on forward on, so I'm a little stupid. But you know, if it's something you need to get rid of, like a Lucci or something like that, you can just Who's Who, and this is why I run Who's Who, because you know Dofi's always gonna be playing that 4 cost, is because it's gonna be able to get rid of that 4 cost if you can just swing with leader, and you know you can play Who's Who, trash a brick out of your hand, and boom, and it reduces your hand size into fucking Dofi, which is perfect because you don't want to get fucking puddinged. Okay, and Kaku too. Kaku's the same thing. And then if they played nothing and like it's nothing, like they swung like 9 at you or some bullshit, you can look to play a Sabo or like a Rebecca Brook or some shit. I didn't put Rebecca Brook on here, but like you can look to like play something to establish something, just to establish it. You don't have to clear anything, or your swing. Don't just swing like 10 at them or some shit. Okay, so on Dawn 7. There are 2 different plays I usually go for, and I think that you can make up some other plays based on your hand, but like generally you're gonna always want to slap down Jack if you have it. Whether you rest Jack or not is depending on if you think they're gonna kill it. If you have a blocker out, you can rest Jack. If you don't, you shouldn't rest it. If you're gonna kill something, you probably rest Jack. Okay, so those are my kind of rules for that. And then the other big play is that you can Rebecca Hina. You can Rebecca Hina for a -4 and then combo that with a Brook or Lucci. Or you can do some other weird shit like leader, play Brook, -1, Lucci, or just play Hina Lucci. That just establishes a board while clearing some bodies. So that's good and all. And then on Dawn 9 is when we're gonna go ahead and play Gecko. And we'll go over the Gecko combos in a second. And on Dawn 9, you're probably going to kick combo Gecko with either an Ice Age, a Soap Sheep, or a Tempest Kick. Or if you don't need any of those, you'll just swing 6 and play Gecko. And the other thing is you can play Kaido on this turn, and I think Kaido is good into certain matchups. But you can always save Kaido, and sometimes getting the Gecko is better off. So just like kind of use Kaido sparingly. And Kaido is like a really good card because it kills a 7 cost, or trash is a 7 cost, so... With that being said, you don't need that much reduction to get rid of some really big things, so keep Kaido like as a fail safe if you run out of resources and you need to get rid of something big. Dawn 10, you're gonna play Moria again or another big drop, or you're going to finally start guarding up because it's getting into the late game. You're gonna Rebecca Sabo, which insanely I want you to think of Rebecca Sabo as heal 2 because it is heal 2 unless they have Gravity Blade. So think of it as a heal 2, indestructible blockers, so you can go down pretty low, and then Rebecca Sabo, and you're going to be chilling, plus it gives you a 2k, and it filters your hand. Okay, now the other combo I like to do into BY is Nightmare Luffy plus the Sabo, and Nightmare Luffy plus the Sabo is pretty fucking good because it makes it so the Nightmare Luffy sticks and is ready to go for next turn to bat up, and it can't be KO'd, so great. Now, this is the going first curve, which is in ideal most matchups, and going second, it's a little better. So going second, you can play Spandam or Tempest Kick, and then on Dawn 4, you can go ahead and play Brook, and actually, I don't know why I didn't put that there, but you can also play Lucci, just to gain some tempo as a 4/6, and then after that, we got Dawn 6, and it's the same thing. You're going to respond to the body if they have it. In this case, they could have a Beater Luffy, which you could Ice Age in Lucci because it's a really, Beater Luffy is the BY Luffy buff thing that, like, shrinks him down and lets them awaken. So it's a really important unit for their setup, and if they have that, they're gonna set up easily. So that's why I was saying you can Ice Age Lucci that. So that's kind of Dawn 6 is pretty similar, and the reason second is better is because, like, boom, we don't have to go into Jack. We're not forced to go into Jack. I mean, in certain matchups you want to play Jack, like into Dofi, so you probably want to pick going first, but in most matchups you just want to go straight into Gecko. And being able to go straight into Gecko on that 8 Dawn turn is pretty good, establishing a pretty wide board plus Gecko, and then on 10 Dawn, similar comboing with the reduction events, as well as Rebecca Sabo, and Nightmare Luffy. Okay, I've been talking for like fucking Jesus Christ, bro. Where's my drink? So, combos. So we got the first combo I want to introduce y'all to is the Brook combo. It KOs a max. We're gonna KO a max 5 cost unit with our leader ability, and that's because Helmeppo is gonna -3, Brook's gonna -1, and leader ability is gonna -1, and then Brook KOs up to one of your opponent's characters that has a cost of 0. So that's a 5. So being able to set all this up is crazy because you get a pseudo blocker. Brook, they gotta swing into it or can KO something else again. You get that Rebecca, you get a 2K from the trash, and then on top of that, you get another body, Helmeppo. I mean, I know it can't swing, but it can stay. I mean, technically it can still swing. So, it's a really insane combo, and then we can even make it better. We can go ahead and KO up to max a 10 cost right here with double Ice Age. Plus Helmeppo, actually, my bad. So it shouldn't be 10 cost. It would actually be 13 cost, okay? But, I mean, we're not going to do 13 costs, but like that, I think it's 13 or 14. But either way, these are the combos. So you can combo with Helmeppo Brook, Suru Brook, Helmeppo Lucci. And you don't always have to use a reduction event. If you have overly too much of reduction, you can also put in a Spandam. And how do we play the Lucci? We play with Spandine. So remember to keep track of your CPs. We're going to talk about some quality of life tips that I'm going to recommend right after this before we end the video off. We also have a VOD review, so don't forget about that. And let's talk about a couple things. So we have the Suru here, and this is why I play Suru. It's like an additional copy of Helmeppo. It increases your odds of hitting this combo. If you hit this combo, you're in a really good spot. You're able to combo out their board. So these are the basic combos. Screenshot this, save this. Keep this open when you play if you don't remember. Organize your trash like that. Get used to playing Lucci. So quality of life tips to be better at Luffy. So you want to play Sabo/Khalifa before swinging early, because if you can grab those 2 cards at the top of the deck before milling 2, you might get a Gecko first. And probability wise, if you haven't hit a Gecko yet, you have a higher chance to hit a Gecko. And as soon as you hit a Gecko, that probability is going to drop, right? So you probably want to hit when you have the highest probability. So I like to play Sabo/Khalifa before swinging early. So organize your trash into 2 stacks, and this will really help you know your thresholds for when you can do the Lucci combo. So you have CP and non-CP, so you know if you can meet the count for Span 9. And you can also organize it into a 3rd stack if you have Nightmare Luffy on the board, keeping track of 4 costs and everything like that, so you know what your Nightmare Luffy's at every so once in a while. It might get a little messy, but it's okay. Keeping your trash organized and knowing what's in your trash is a really important factor about playing Lucci. So in this, while we can't talk about mulligans yet, and I want to talk about mulligans when we go more matchup specific, generally keeping boss monsters in hand for low aggro matchups is correct. Maybe into Dofi, keeping like 3 bricks that are fucking what is it, like Gecko Jack is probably bad because you need to deal with the board early. But in most matchups, Gecko Jack might be good, because the game's a little slower. So anyway, that's my part 1 on how to play Lucci for OP9, and now let's get into the VOD review. So in this matchup, I like to go second because Bonnie can play their boss monster to drop Dofi, so we're gonna go second. Kaido's pretty good into Bonnie. Early Spandam's not that good though. Ice Age and that's pretty good. I do see my hand kind of being worse, but I really don't want to play that Spandam out early because it prevents me from doing the Basil Hawken thing. Because they can rest it. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna mulligan this. Whatever. This is okay. So it doesn't have the Kaido, but I mean, I just wanted a mulligan for Gecko, low-key. But I don't. Maybe you shouldn't. We shouldn't have mulliganed that. That's just like a. Okay, so we have an Ice Age. We're gonna go ahead and pass here. We don't have really nothing to do. I mean, I think we can go ahead and Tempest Kick just because we have double Ice Age. And then yeah, boom. So you can do that if you have a lot of reduction events. And like as you can see in my hand, I got a lot of reduction. You know, we got 2 Ice Ages and a Helmet Bow. Okay, so they're gonna go 6 Emmy. I like to take the first 2 into Bonnie. Just get my hand, like I don't have, there's just a lot of Ice Ages. It's pretty good. So over here I probably just want to filter my hand because it's a little weird. So I'll probably end up playing the Khalifa, so I'll end up going 5. Actually, almost misplayed, so I would probably play the Khalifa first. It doesn't really matter, but in this case sometimes the probability, I feel like the probability geckos could be higher. I'm gonna put the Helmet Bow in the trash just because I have 3 Ice Ages, and then I'll also put a single Nightmare Luffy. -2 to that, and I mean he could rest that. I don't really give a fuck, honestly. Like I would rather him swing into that. Like, I mean, maybe that's incorrect. So let's do what we milled. And we milled Gecko Span, Lucci Spandam. So yeah. So he's gonna play Baby 5. But you know, we gotta think about what he's gonna play, and actually he's not gonna play anything. I guess his hand is dead. So he's just gonna go 9 at us, and we're just gonna take that. Set 2 of his Dawn active. Okay, so he has leader ability. I low-key just want to play the Nightmare Luffy out because I want to establish a body, and he has nothing there, and it's the strongest body I can probably establish. It can also get rid of Basil Hawkins, but because we have a Khalifa on the board, it's not going to be able to do that unless I rest the Khalifa and then I have a Jack. There's a lot of things to think about, but I think Nightmare Luffy's still a solid play. If they have Hawkins, it is kind of annoying because you still can rest the Khalifa, but like I said, we're going to play Nightmare Luffy, but the first thing we're going to do before playing Nightmare Luffy is swing. And we're probably just going to swing 6 Dawn. And then we're going to use her mill effect. We're almost hitting 10 cards in the trash. And then, you know, you can't easily organize these into stacks like I said on Sim, but it is possible to do it in real life. Like it will get you into the habit of it. So do the more practice real life, go to locals, it will help you. Anyway, so I play a Monkey Luffy here. This card's really good. I think this card's great. I don't know. Maybe I'll remove it. Maybe I see that, you know, I want to play Kaku or something like that. But right now I'm not really feeling that. I feel like Nightmare, I won a lot of my BY matchups, and it's because of this card. This card's solid. It's very, very good, my opinion. Okay, so 9 at me again. Okay, so I actually do think I'm gonna guard this because I don't want to go down that low. I do got some bullshit. So I'll get rid of the Suru, just so I have that in the trash. I'll get rid of the Khalifa. I can get rid of the Span. I don't want to be taking a bunch of fucking hits. So he has that leader ability up. We're gonna play Gecko here. Do we care if he fucking rests that? I don't know. So if I go 5 with this, he's gonna rest this and swing. I don't even want to mill that bad. That's the thing. I mean, Rebecca would be good in the trash, so probably have to mill first. So we'll probably go 5 at that. He's gonna rest my Nightmare Luffy. Yeah, see, that's what I was scared of, but I mean, what can you do? Oh, got Rebecca. That's pretty good. Yeah. Could I have prevented that? Okay, so, I mean, I could have just used Nightmare Luffy effect and swung so it gets to the face. So maybe that was like troll, but like I got the effect. And let's me grab this 2K. And we're gonna grab, I guess, another 2K. I don't even know. Yeah, there's not a Sabo in here. So we'll just grab another 2K. And do I want to play the Brook out? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Just because I don't want it to get removed. He's going to go ahead and play 7-drop Kid. I don't really know what the fuck that does. Okay, so it's a blocker. You can set it as active. So you can swing with it in a reach stance. Crazy. Okay, 6K at me. Yeah, we'll probably just block. Nothing really much about there. So we got this Nightmare leaving on the board, which is kind of retarded. Cause I can literally just fucking. Yeah, but then I can't swing, bruh. I mean, I can just do that with Brook too. That's the thing. Yeah, so I feel like it's just like 9 in his face because I want to get a life, right? And then he's gonna arrest the Nightmare Luffy. It's like whatever. Okay. I could go for Ice Age plus a Brook plus another Brook, and that establishes 2 bodies and then 2 Brooks, and that's kind of cancer for him. And that KOs it. Or I could just swing at him again, which would be Ice Age plus Brook. Ice Age plus Brook, which would be 4 Dawn, and then gives me 6 left. So if I went Ice Age plus Brook, that would be 7 Dawn. Give me 3 Dawn left. I think I could do that. I don't know. Let's see. Actually, yeah, let's go because I don't want to swing because it's a blocker. So we'll probably play Ice Age first. Play the Brook. Might have got a -1. Play another Brook. Just because I don't want to swing. Yeah, and then I can swing after that. So Ice Age, play a Brook, and then not pop it, and then play another Brook and pop it. So now we have a double Brook, and now we can go 5, 7. Alright. 5, and he'll probably guard that one. If he's not stupid. And then we're gonna go a good little 7 at him. And you know, that was a little weird play, but you kind of see like what you can do with Lucci. You can do like kind of anything. Like you just play with your hand, and whatever you can do, you can do. But I mean, there are some standard plays you can keep in mind. That's why I had that general curve thing. But you need to be like to be better at this deck. You need to learn how to be more flexible, and that only comes with you playing this deck more. So you got to play it a lot. And so 5. He's going 5 at me. He played another Kid. I'm just gonna counter because I don't want to take anything, and I'll probably just use the Who's Who. Sorry, have a Khalifa. And he's gonna baby 5. He's gonna put leave 2 Dawn up, and I'm just going to Tempest Kick Ice Age probably because that's like the easiest thing I can do. I could even play another Gecko, which is kind of crazy. No, I can't do that. I'm down to just fucking double Ice Age it. Or we Tempest Kick Ice Age it and then swing. Oh. If I swing 5 at it, he's just gonna tap my Gecko, bro. So maybe I cooked, but it's whatever. It's okay. I kind of just want to lethal him out this turn. I don't really see the point in playing another Gecko. So I'm trying to think of the biggest swings I can make, but let's start with the 7. I don't know if I want to start with that guy though. Let's go with this guy because that guy can swing like a shit ton if I Probably. I mean, so now that he's done that, I think we just go double 5s at him until he takes one. No. I think we just go 7. Nah, there's no way to really lethal him out this turn unless he takes this random 5. If he takes this random 5, then he's kind of okay. Well, is he gonna take this random 7? Oh. And then choose cards. We're just gonna bottom deck all this shit and then confirm 11 targets. 10k. Okay. Okay, see, that's why that card's good, guys. Okay, well, anyways, thanks for watching that gameplay video. So that's everything kind of need to get started with Lucci. Yeah, so adios, guys. Alright guys, what's up? We're on OPTCG Sim, and let's go through the deck list after talking really about the deck. This is the deck list I decided on right now. And actually, there are a couple minor edits that I would decide to make right now. I do really like this list, just because, it has the Nightmare Luffy, so it's able to tech for BY, and we also have the Soap Sheet for Dofi, and I think 2 Soap Sheet is pretty good. Now, it sounds kind of weird, but I think that we might be able to get away with